I thank His Excellency Mr. Boudawi for his briefing. I shall now make a statement in my capacity as the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of Bahrain. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
In the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful, Your Excellencies, representatives of the Member States, distinguished guests, peace and God's mercy and blessings be upon you. It is my honor at the outset to convey to your esteemed Council the greetings of His Majesty, King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, King of the Kingdom of Bahrain, God protect him, and the greetings of His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, Crown Prince and Prime Minister, may God protect him. I express their deep appreciation for the constructive role played by the Security Council and its efforts to safeguard international peace and security. It gives me pleasure to express the Kingdom of Bahrain's great pride in its membership in the Security Council as a non-permanent member for the years 2026-2027 and in its presidency of the Council's meetings during this session. Here, I also wish to thank the delegation of the United States of America. I thank them for their exceptional presidency of the Council last month. I thank Mr. Khalid Khiyari, Assistant Secretary General for the Middle East, Europe, and the Americas, and Asia and the Pacific, for his valuable briefing. I thank His Excellency, Mr. Jassim Mohammed Al-Bdawi, Secretary General of the Gulf Cooperation Council, for his comprehensive presentation and briefing, and we appreciate his acceptance of the invitation to participate in this meeting. I express our sincere gratitude and appreciation to the Member States for the adoption of Security Council Resolution 2817, submitted by the Kingdom of Bahrain on behalf of the GCC Member States and the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, on the Iranian attacks, the illegal Iranian attacks using ballistic missiles and drones that clearly appear to be meticulously pre-planned, thus reflecting Iran's aggressive intentions towards our peaceful and neighboring countries that are neighbors to Iran. These attacks have targeted civilian infrastructure and vital facilities and residential areas, including airports, ports, hotels, energy facilities, factories, universities, food security services, public service sites, residential areas, water stations, and diplomatic premises, causing significant losses in life and property. We thank God Almighty that the efficiency and preparedness of the armed forces and air defense systems in the GCC states and Jordan courageously and efficiently intercepted these ballistic missiles and drones, dealing with them with a high sense of professionalism, helping to neutralize the threat and reduce its effects and protect lives and vital establishments and capabilities. We express our appreciation for the Security Council's firm commitment to the sovereignty, independence, unity, and territorial integrity of the GCC states. We thank them for the wide support the resolution received from 136 UN member states, which is a strong indication of the international community's strong rejection of these Iranian attacks, attacks which violate international law, the United Nations Charter, and the principles of good neighborliness. In this context, the Kingdom of Bahrain welcomes the adoption by the Human Rights Council in Geneva of Resolution L38 that was tabled by my country, Bahrain, addressing the human rights implications of the treacherous Iranian attacks targeting GCC states and Jordan. The resolution was adopted during an urgent debate session that was held during the current session on the 25th of March. That resolution received unprecedented support from 115 co-sponsoring states. This reflects the international community's will and commitment to the protection of human rights. The resolution includes explicit and strongly worded condemnation of Iran's attacks as a grave violation of international law, including international human rights law and international humanitarian law. This international human rights position, which we greatly appreciate, confirms the international community's absolute rejection of Iran's repeated violations, which are acts that disregard international law, treaties, and Security Council resolutions. These actions are stripped of all values, be they religious, moral, or humanitarian. Your Excellencies, it is deeply regrettable that the Islamic Republic of Iran did not simply stop at its treacherous attacks on the GCC states and Jordan, including their civilian infrastructure, where they spilled the pure blood of innocents and terrorized citizens and residents. It did not stop at that. Rather, it went further and threatens the global economy through closing the Strait of Hormuz and restricting the freedom of international navigation through it. These actions endanger energy security and food supplies and global trade. These actions are a blatant violation of international law and the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. We commend your esteemed Council for emphasizing in your resolution number 2817, emphasizing the importance of maritime security and the freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz, and for recognizing that any disruption to such vital waterways could have serious implications for international trade and global economic stability. Based on the above, the Kingdom of Bahrain submitted a draft resolution to your esteemed Council on Iran's unlawful and unjustified attempt to control international navigation in the Strait of Hormuz, placing before your esteemed Council a challenge that requires a decisive response to such actions that are irresponsible and illegitimate, actions that threaten the interests of nations and peoples around the world. We are confident that this draft resolution is consistent with international law and with the provisions of the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, which guarantees the right of transit passage through straits without obstruction, contrary to what Iran is doing today. We look forward to a unified position from this esteemed Council during the vote that will take place on the draft resolution tomorrow, God willing. Your Excellencies, as the Kingdom of Bahrain holds the current presidency of the Gulf Cooperation Council, I wish to thank the Security Council for dedicating this session to discussing the cooperation between the United Nations and the Gulf Cooperation Council. This is a relationship that the GCC member states have consistently given care to strengthening in full commitment with the purposes and principles of the Charter of the United Nations. The GCC believes that its active membership with the United Nations can enhance the vital role of regional organizations in addressing global challenges and conflicts, as stipulated by Chapter 8 of the Charter. Since its establishment 45 years ago, the Gulf Cooperation Council has stated that it is an active and interactive regional organization, deeply engaged with regional and international issues, contributing to the enhancement of regional peace and security. The GCC has always sought to share the world's concerns, support its just causes, and use all of its capabilities and relations and global partnerships to help promote regional and international stability, be it through mediation or support for diplomatic solutions, humanitarian assistance, counter-terrorism efforts, combating organized crime, promoting tolerance and coexistence, and human fraternity, supporting sustainable development in least developed countries, protecting the environment, and advocating for a lasting and comprehensive peace. And in accordance with Chapter 8 of the United Nations Charter on the importance of regional organizations and the role they play in resolving disputes and contributing towards the maintenance of international peace and security, the GCC played a prominent role in resolving the Yemeni crisis in the year 2011. It did that through the Gulf Initiative and its implementation mechanism, which helped stop the bloodshed and address the crisis peacefully. This initiative became and remains to this day one of the key international reference points for resolving the Yemeni crisis. In addition, the GCC had an active role in reducing the severity of regional conflicts and supporting efforts to settle disputes in countries in the region, countries such as Syria, Palestine, Lebanon, Libya, and Gaza. The GCC will continue these efforts in cooperation and partnership with the United Nations and peace-loving countries. Also within the framework of Chapter 8 of the UN Charter, cooperation between the United Nations and the GCC continues to grow, though it has not reached the level of a full institutional framework. Despite the great potential it carries towards enhancing international peace and security and maintaining them. The experience, especially the Gulf Initiative in Yemen, clearly demonstrates that effective coordination between regional and international efforts can yield tangible results in supporting political processes and reducing escalation. And based on this experience, there is a clear need to develop a more organized and structured mechanism to coordinate work between the United Nations and regional organizations in a manner that would ensure consistency and complementarity in addressing growing challenges. In this context, we emphasize the importance of working on establishing regular and periodic meetings, including annual gatherings between the Security Council and regional organizations, in a manner that would strengthen strategic consultations and the exchange of assessments, and would support a collective and more effective response to regional and international crises. We at the Gulf Cooperation Council recognize the importance of enhancing cooperation and partnership with the United Nations across many vital issues. We recognize the need to use all available means to achieve our common objectives. This includes strengthening the appropriate mechanisms for enhancing dialogue and strategic cooperation and joint coordination, and increasing consultations on the efforts that the United Nations is exerting in the fields of the maintenance of international peace and security, humanitarian action, and sustainable development, and towards the empowerment of women and youth in promoting peace and security. We at the GCC, and with the leadership and wisdom of their majesties and excellencies, the heads of state, may God protect them, we will remain unwavering in our commitment to international agreements and conventions. We remain committed to our belief in international law, and we believe that a better future for humanity requires active international partnership that is founded on the values of peace, coexistence, cooperation, and human fraternity. I thank you, and may God and blessings and peace be upon you.